What is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king, welcoming you back to more Let's Play Destiny. Today begins a new week, a new level of curse here in the Dreaming City. This is the growing curse, at least is what it's known as colloquially. You're starting to see little bits of blight in the air. Things have changed enough, and Petra is actually in a new location just right here where we spawn in. So Scorn pretty much dominated the Dreaming City during the first week. Now it's more of a hive-focused element, and we have a couple of things to grab from Petra now that things have changed. So week on week, as I said before, the Ascendant Challenge changes every single time. So we're going to be wanting to grab that first. This one, Starlight, Starbright, First Untruth shall craft tonight, Toland the Shattered. If you don't know what this is referencing, think about the locations that we've already been to so far. Chamber of Starlight, there you go. It's in one of the lost sectors. We're going to be heading that way soon. I'm grabbing a couple of bounties here. I'm going to grab every single bounty I can, actually. It looks like we also have the bounty to find Toland once again. I'm trying to remember actually where he is on this one, but I think I know. And we also have a couple of other things. Bay of Drowned Wishes in the Dreaming City. Enemies, just 100 enemies to kill. Things along those lines. Pretty simple stuff this week. So we're going to be starting today by taking on the Ascendant Challenge first things first. This one is a bit of a marathon and more of a platforming challenge than it is a combat challenge. It'll all make sense once we get there. But on top of that, we're also going to be showing off the boss for the heroic version of the Blind Well Tier 3. On top of that, the Oracle Engine, which we just passed, is the mission for this week. We are going to be doing that in the next episode. It's going to kind of get its own dedicated episode, and that's pretty much all I'm going to be showing off, although I think we'll also have time to turn in a couple of things that we've picked up. So if I go into my quest, and do keep in mind, I just want to, as a reminder, let you know that I am kind of recording these episodes while also doing future expansions at the same time. So you see all this stuff, just ignore it for the time being. So the Corsair badge, I still need to turn that in. And I also got this from completing I want to say a lost sector. A small gift, smells faintly of mint. You're probably wondering what that does. Well, I'm going to show that off as well. And luckily, the place I actually want to go to demonstrate that is right by where the Oracle Engine mission starts. So we'll be able to do all of that in this episode. So this is going to be kind of an episode of taking care of a whole bunch of miscellaneous things. I do have another Corsair badge. I'm probably not going to do that one on screen, though, because I've already kind of demonstrated how it works once. There's really no point in showing it again. So let's head on into this Chamber of Starlight. Enemies take a minute to spawn in here. We're just going to kind of make our way through this one as efficiently as possible, which is why I have Laymonarch with me. Not really going to try and take my time here because I've already shown how this lost sector works. But I do at least want to finish this thing as quickly and as efficiently as possible because we got things to do. This Ascendant Challenge is actually one of the harder ones, and that's not saying much because they're all pretty darn easy. This one's just frustrating because one of the easiest places to die in this Ascendant Challenge is actually, and it looks like enemies might not even spawn. Maybe I'll get lucky here. And I can actually start this before they do. It's the easiest part to die in this Ascendant Challenge is at the end of the Ascendant Challenge, but I wonder if the instance hasn't come in, so maybe the actual challenge might not show up yet. Hold on just a moment. Okay, sorry about that. So, yeah, this lost sector, for whatever reason, and there's one other lost sector on, I think, the EDZ that runs into this problem very frequently due to the way that Destiny kind of handles instances where things don't always load in all the way properly. This one has had problems with it for a very long time. I want to say since Shadowkeep came out, where enemies are delayed. But this new glitch where they don't even spawn in the second half of the lost sector is definitely more of a recent thing. I don't know what's going on with that. I'm assuming they're going to look at it somewhat soon if it, is brought to their attention at all. Man, if I could only land my shots, that would be great. I am specifically trying not to use my super here because I would like to save it for the lost sector itself. But yeah, it's been happening a lot with this particular lost sector, and I guess that also even includes the Ascendant Challenge portal, which is up there. So we're going to be making our way up to that. Let's just kill everything in here first. I can land my shots. There we go. Probably should focus on those hobgoblins in the back if I can. I cannot land my hits. Jeez, I have a terrible shot right now. There we go. Got him. Okay, almost done. was hoping I could get the headshot there, but oh well. Please die. Thank you. And there's one more behind me. Kill it. All right, cool. Now, let's head on up and into the portal. And here we go. Sumerian Garrison. So, you have these guys right here, these blades, these or Abyssal Champions as they're known. There's going to be 3 of them that are going to be slowly lumbering towards you for about half of this Ascendant Challenge. And I say half because the further you get into this Ascendant Challenge, the faster they're going to get. They're going to get more aggressive. They're going to start running you down. You can actually kill them, but just if you want to know how hard it is, just doing, I'll see how much damage I can actually do to demonstrate this. Hold on, they all just kind of despawn. That's the other thing too, is they'll sort of despawn as you go. But I'm gonna shoot them for a little bit. See how much health they still have even after all that damage I did? Yeah, killing them, it's doable. I even think there's a triumph for doing it, but it is not recommended and not the way I would go about doing this. I would just run. So, head on up. And you're going to want to keep a long-range weapon on hand. Don't worry about the Thrall too much. They're not what you're concerned with. It's the Hobgoblins that you're going to want to take out post-haste. So let's kill all of them and then keep moving. There is a path that kind of runs over that way. Sorry about that cut. My microphone was not cooperating with me there. It kept trying to fall down. I need to get a new mic arm for this because it just keeps falling out of place. But keep going, and the Hobgoblins are not the only reason you want a long-range, powerful weapon. There is also Shriekers in this thing, and they are not super fun to deal with. So I'm going to chuck a grenade down there so that can hit all of them, and let's keep going. We are going to run into another Shrieker up here. I'm only jumping up here to grab this heavy, so let's grab that really quickly. We're mostly safe up here as long as we kill the Shrieker incredibly quickly. So make sure that you do that. Get out of here. Kill that Hobgoblin so he does not sniping me while I run. Let's keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. So I'm now trying to keep an eye out for Toland here. So this whole path kind of S-bends around. You can follow that, but my personal favorite way to go is actually to jump over here. So I'm going to be doing that. Where the heck is Toland exactly? I am not seeing him. Now, as you continue to head up this way, you're not going to be running into as much Thrall anymore, but more these guys right here, the Phalanxes. And these guys you are going to want to deal with before you try anything crazy here. So take each of them out. And also, as soon as you jump down here, here come the Abyssal Champions. They're going to respawn right about here. And this is where they're going to start to get a lot more aggressive. So, now we need to start moving around them. Their helmets are off. They are a lot faster now. Abyssal Champions are something you're going to want to remember for future activities as well. They are very nasty and very problematic. So now I would get a faster firing rate weapon so you can take care of these eyes as you head up the stairs. Just keep going. Watch out for these explosions that are going to try to boop you off. This is almost the part where you're going to get messed with a lot by the environmental traps, but we're not quite at the worst part just yet. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Don't stop, don't stop. All right, now we get to the death hallway. Just run. Don't ever stop when you run through here. As long as you can maintain momentum, you shouldn't be able to get knocked off. Just stay in the middle like this. We're doing good. They are definitely still chasing us down. I think it's just Thrall, though. I don't think the Abyssal Champions can keep up with us at a full sprint. If you want to be amplified before you jump into this, that is also a very good idea. And, you know, I am not seeing Toland anywhere, so I'm just going to have to frickin' go. And not the Toland that I want anyway. Maybe I can make my way to him from another direction. Okay, make sure you shoot these eyes. The eyes that spawn right here in this platforming section are going to burst you down really quickly if you're not careful. Those ones are very necessary to kill. The ones on the stairs, not as much, but it is helpful. Same with these two. They do a lot of damage, a lot of unexpected damage. This is the hardest part right here, is going through this where everything is rotating. You gotta make your jumps cleanly, because if you blow it here, you're right at the end. If you blow it here, you gotta start all the way back at the beginning again. So make sure you don't mess that up. Now, we need to kill this enemy right here. There is no Abyssal Champion, it's just this guy. That is why I saved my super. And you can't go run up top and try to hide, or else the Shrieker will shoot at you. So just keep doing damage. I'm hoping that that is still hurting him. It did do a bit of damage, not as much as I would like, but it's enough. Now let's kill that Phalanx, watch out for them. They can be a pain in the neck. Get that one for all going. Got him. And there we go. That is the Ascendant Challenge. Very, very simple, but also, like I said, quite possibly the toughest in the entire... And I think I see where Toland's at. Quite possibly the toughest. So we're going to actually run back in here really quickly just so I can track down Toland. Toland can spawn in one of several locations, actually. So since I'm still Ascendant, I might as well head back in. We'll just give it a second to kind of demonstrate how long this takes. But I do believe after a moment it is going to reopen again. If not, I might have to leave the Lost Sector and come back, which is doable, but it's going to be a little bit obnoxious, and I guess I can just run straight to it. All right, we are back. So let's go track down Toland as quickly as we possibly can, get this done, and then we will call it here. He's always in these challenges somewhere. You just need to look for the glittery, flickering light as you go. So we're going to keep our eyes peeled for that. So I want to say he was over in this direction somewhere. He might be further down, though. I honestly don't know. He's usually actually in, like, the opening section. There he is, right over there. Right over there. Let's head on over to that. All we need to do is jump across the way to it. So let's get that, and then we can call this, and then we can just, honestly, just kill ourselves, and then we'll be kicked right out of the challenge. Here we go. Not even going to listen to everything he has to say because, honestly, all Toland does is just ramble. He's literally a madman. I mean, the guy freaking is such a weirdo. He's such a psycho that he basically abandoned his corporeal form to be put into just a singularity of light that travels in through the Ascendant plane, just spouting random bits of knowledge and wisdom. That's it. That's all he is. He's a bit eccentric. Let's just say that. So really kind of don't care about the things he has to say, most of them. Not to say that it isn't actually valuable stuff, because a lot of the deep lore actually comes from Toland's musings, but we're not really interested in the deep lore, are we? We're interested in more of the surface level lore and all of the story-related stuff here in this Let's Play. All right, so our next thing that we're going to be doing this episode is we're going to be taking a look at the heroic version of the Blind Well. I'm going to be doing 2 runs, and at the end of the second run, I will be able to demonstrate how this boss works, and we will have our quest complete and our prerequisite Blind Well runs for the week all finished and done. So we'll be able to show all of that off there. So I will see you all in just a bit. Okay, here we go. So I just finished the last of the Heralds of the Plague. Let's deposit an unstable charge of light. So this big ogre is going to spawn in up here. This is how this works. 2 wizards are going to spawn over here on the left. You are going to want to kill both of these wizards as that's not a word, as quickly as you possibly can. Once these wizards are dead, they are going to be dropping these little orbs of power on the ground. Pick these up, throw them at somebody who will then not apparently keep it, but that's okay because they dropped it instead of throwing it like a dummy. Now that it is fully charged because you have passed the orb off, don't forget to do this part, the shield's going to go down in 1 hit. If you do not pass the orb off to somebody else first, it will not be powerful enough to take down the shield. Remember that mechanic. It is important. It does not just work here. It works in other places as well. Pass the orbs to your friends or literally anyone in your fire team to charge them up. They only charge up once, though, so do keep that in mind. You don't need to do it more than 1 time, but once that's done and the orb is glowing and sparkling, then you can throw it at the shielded target. This is also going to be useful in a strike that we are going to be doing later. But that is how that Blind Well works, so that challenge. We've only got 1 final Herald of the Plague or Servant of the Plague left to take care of, and we are going to be done with the Blind Well pretty much for good. I mean, obviously, we could keep running it again for more drops and the like. I mean, I got 2 weapon drops during all of that, which is pretty nice, but basically, that's everything you need to do. Now, I'm going to head back out. We are going to go and talk to some Corsairs really quickly and turn in our Corsair badge so we can get a little bit of a reward. It's not anything super special. Now, there are some Corsairs that are back in here, and I do believe that they are who we can hand this badge off to. So there we go. Get some dark fragments for it and a blue piece. Not even some glimmer, which, I don't know. This is why I don't really do the Corsair badges, because I don't really find them to be all that worth it, but I digress. Now, I'm going to head down this cliff really quickly, and because there is actually a secret down here. There are actually several secrets throughout the Dreaming City, but this is the one that I know offhand the most. So if you head up in here, up through this little crack in the side of the wall, go all the way through, and down into this spot where it's glowing, you will find, and where is the little critter? I know it's in here somewhere. Maybe it's not here, though. You know, actually, I might have already done this one on my Warlock now that I think about it. So you know what? Maybe I'm going to actually go track down another one. So give me just a second. Okay, so this next one is actually not too far away from where we were at. We're going to want to head up here where you can see a bunch of stuff kind of set up over here. If we look immediately to our left, and I believe actually we have to go out a little bit more to actually see it. There you are. Okay, right all the way the heck up there. There it is. I was trying to look for it. We need to climb up and around and over to get to it. But what we need to do is we need to jump down here. And this is actually a path we're going to be taking for a couple of secrets here in the game. But let's head up this way, kind of climb all the way up and around the mountain. Like so. Do a little bit of platforming, make sure you don't fall off here. But this all leads up to a statue that is kind of up at the top of this whole situation. Actually, I think I need to jump out this way. Yes. All the way over here. And then we climb up, and there is an awoken statue up at the top that's got a bunch of greenery over it. And if we head on up to that, the thing we're looking for might be there, assuming I haven't actually done this one already as well. It's really hard to keep track of which ones I've done, but if we go up here, there you are. Okay, so these right here are known as cat statues. Now, unfortunately, claiming them is an account-wide thing, not a character-wide thing. So I already had claimed a few of these in my lost episodes on my Warlock a while back. I think I claimed about 3 or 4 cats before I ended up discarding all that footage. There are a total of 9 of these. You can look up guides on how to find them all online. I'm not going to be demonstrating how to get every single one of them here, but if you ever get the small gift, which is right here, smells faintly of mint. You can get these from completing patrols, public events, blind well runs, Ascendant Challenges. Basically anything you do in the Dreaming City can drop these until you have turned in all 9 of the gifts and gotten all of the cats. I believe they can still drop until you've claimed them all, but once all 9 have been used, then they won't drop anymore. So if you have any additional ones, just dismantle them. They don't give you anything anyway. But if you go up, you present the gift to the cat, it disappears, and you get a random piece of Dreaming City gear, weapons, armor, whatever. In the early days, before they made weapon and armor drops a lot more common here in the Dreaming City, when this first came out, that was actually one of the best surefire ways of getting that gear, because your only other surefire ways of getting gear was from the one bounty, the daily bounty, the 2 weekly bounties, and the quest and the blind well. And that was like, and the 1 blind well run a week, I should say, excuse me. That was it. So turning in all of those was a great way of basically unlocking the rest of the weapons in the early days. Now it's kind of superfluous and it doesn't give you anything really all that good to begin with. So it's just something you can kind of do in your spare time. And I guess it also does contribute towards the Curse Breaker title, which is the Dreaming City specific title, and the first title that I ever got in the game, as a matter of fact. So one that I would highly recommend getting if you are willing to take the time to do so. There's more to that title than what we've shown thus far. Anyways, guys, that is going to be it for this episode. Hopefully when I cut this episode down, it's a manageable length, because right now it's showing that it was 42 minutes long. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this episode very much, and I will see you all in the next one, where we're going to take on the quest, the Oracle Engine. See you all then.